This is Professor Sampson, and in this video we're going to talk about factors. So I wanted to write down a definition of factors for section 2.1. A factor is a number that is multiplied by another number. That's simple and easy. Also, a factor is a whole number that divides exactly into another number. So what does that mean? A factor is a number that is multiplied by another number. So let's just randomly think of multiplying two numbers. So let's say if we had 7, right, times 2, right? Well, 7 and 2 are factors of 14, right? Because they are multiplied by another number to get 14. 14 also has another factor, right? Set of factors, 1 times 14, right? That also gives me 14, okay? So factors are numbers that are multiplied by one another. A factor is the number that is being multiplied. So what you'll be asked to do in this section is to list the factors. So as my short example here did, if I wanted to list the factors of 14, I could say the factors of 14 are 1, 2, 7, and 14. Those are the factors of 14. 1, 2, 7, and 14. Because they are the numbers that are, once you multiply them, they will give you 14. So we will be asked several times to list the factors of different numbers. And as you see, it's pretty easy when the number is small, right? But what if you have a large number, 600, or even a smaller number like 24 that has tons of factors? So even if you had 24 and you were told to list the factors of 24, I mean, there are a lot of factors and there are opportunities to forget some, because you have 1 times 24, right? Then you have 2 times 12. Right? Then you have 3 times 8. Right? 4 times 6. Okay? And these seem to be all the factors of 24. But what about larger numbers? Of course, I now know my factors of 24 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. Alright. But we don't want to do that by hand, especially if we're looking at much larger numbers. Right? So let me show you an example. Let's say we have the number 92. I'll give you this example. The number 92. And you're being asked to list the factors of 92. Alright? So what we're going to do is do it in our calculator. Learn how to list the factors in our calculator. So they're currently asking us to list the factors of 92. Right, what are the factors of 92? So let's see how we do it in our calculator. Right. So in our calculator, right, we're going to hit the Y equals button. And the Y equals button is in the upper left hand corner. Right? It's in the upper left hand corner. Right. Alright. So once we hit that Y equals button here in the upper left hand corner, alright, we're going to come to the screen. In this screen we're going to put whatever our number is divided by X. Alright. So whatever our number is divided by X. So in our example, so it's our number, right? And then the division bar, and then the X button, which is on this X, which is on this button. I'll show you where that button is. Alright, so that button, so we're going to put in our number. In our example, our number was what? 92. We're going to hit the division symbol, and we're going to hit this button right here. It's right under mode. Alright, so that button is under mode. Right? Can we all see it here? Right under mode. Here's mode. Right there, and that's the button. So I'm going to put 92 divided by that X. And whenever you're able to use X, that's the X you're going to use. Alright? Once I put that in, alright, I'm going to, so I have my 92 divided by X, and I have that in my system. I need the table, those table of numbers, all those numbers that give me 92. And you can see the word table is actually over here in the upper right hand corner on top of the word graph. It's in some kind of color. If you're using an 83, it might be in yellow. And my 84 is blue. In order to get to those upper ones, you look at the color. Since table is blue, you're going to hit the blue button, the second button, and that's going to get you up to the table even though you hit the graph button. So what you're going to hit is the second button. Right? Then you're going to hit the graph button. And this really equals the table. That's where you're trying to get to the table. Alright. So that's what I'm going to do. I have to cover it up a little bit. I'm going to hit the second button. I'm going to hit the graph button. And then I'm going to get a list. Right? Of course, there's no 0. I see 1 times 92. Alright. Is a factor. 1 times 92. And you go down. 1 times 92. Then I see 2 and 46. Then I see 3 is a decimal, no decimals, remember whole numbers. Then I see 4 and 23. I hit my down button to see if I see any more. If I get to a repeat, I know I'm finished. Alright, so I just hit down. See, those are all decimals. Alright, now I'm back to 23 and 4, but I already have 23 and 4, so I know I'm done. So my factors of 92 are 192, 246, 423. And since it's a list, you're not going to put commas. So you're just going to go 1, 2, 4, 23, 46, and 92. Alright? That's my list with commas in the middle in my math lab, right? Commas in the middle so that you're not telling it to multiply all these numbers. You're listing. You're giving a list. Alright. So we're going to do the same thing again. Try another list of factors. So this time, this one is pretty simple. We're going to simply list the factors of, let's try 165 maybe. Alright, so we're going to list the factors of 165. Okay. So if you follow the step by step, and you should have that from before, you're going to hit the Y equals button. You can hit the clear to clear that out. You're going to have 165 divided by the X. I always hit enter, you don't have to. Then go to second table, and then it'll list it. Now it left me off where I was, so I'm going back up to 1. Alright, so because I know my first one, of course, is 1 and 65. So now I have 1, and 165. Right. Then I have 3 and 55. And I'm going to scroll down, see what else I have, and that's it. I have 5 and 33, sorry. And if I keep scrolling down, right there, I have 15 and 11. I also skipped it. It was 11 and 15, then 15 and 11. Right? And then since they're repeats, I don't have to keep going. Right? So those are all my factors of 165. So I could list them 1, 3, 5, 15, 11, doesn't matter the order, 33, 55, and 165. Right, I got 8 numbers here, 8 numbers here, I just listed it. So that's how you list the factors of a number. If you have a small number, you can do those by yourself, but my suggestion is that you don't do the larger numbers, because like this is the factors of 14. If you wanted to just practice, you can put in your calculator 1, 2, 7, and 14 is the answer to that one, but we can always check it in our calculator, alright, by going back in. Y equals, clear that out, 14 divided by x, and then go to your table. I'm going to start back at 1, and I see it's 1 and 14, 2 and 7, and when I go down I see 7 and 2 again, so I realize that I've gotten all of my numbers. So that's how you list the factors in your calculator, so you don't have to do them by hand. And here were the calculator steps if you need to copy those down.